Let's be honest for a second. Have you ever encountered people who seem to get a kick out of testing your patience? They interrupt your conversation, throw in sarcastic remarks, or treat your time and emotions like they don't matter. And society expects us to just accept it and move on, right? Well, not anymore. If you're ready to stop tolerating disrespect, then stick around, because this video is exactly what you need. Today, I'm about to share some real, no-nonsense techniques to handle disrespect head-on, without losing your cool or compromising your self-respect. By the end, you'll be equipped with all the tools you need to firmly establish boundaries and make sure people understand where they stand with you. Let's jump right in. First, let's talk about the power of silence. One of the most powerful responses you can give is no response at all. I know you might be thinking, isn't silence just letting them win? But here's the truth. Silence isn't passive. It's a conscious decision. And sometimes, it's the boldest statement you can make. When someone is being negative or disrespectful, they want to pull you into their drama, make you feel small or defensive. But when you stay silent, when you let their words hang in the air without responding, it forces them to confront their own behavior. That silence? It's deafening. Here's why it works. People who disrespect others often expect a reaction. They're looking for a fight, an explanation, or some kind of validation for their behavior. But when you choose silence, you're telling them, I'm not giving you my energy. By not engaging, you're maintaining control over the situation and sending the message that you won't entertain their disrespect. I remember a time when someone kept throwing passive-aggressive comments my way. The kind of person who tries to hide insults in the form of jokes, hoping to get under your skin. One day, he made a totally unnecessary comment about my work. Normally, I would have tried to explain myself, or maybe even respond with a quick comeback. But this time, I did nothing. I simply raised an eyebrow and stayed silent. And you know what happened? He got uncomfortable. He looked away, mumbled something, and moved on. That was the last time he tried anything like that. When I didn't react, he realized there was no power to be gained. This is the beauty of silence. It takes away the attention disrespect thrives on. Choosing silence means choosing to protect your peace. You're saying, I don't need to prove myself to you. And let me tell you, that's a game changer. So often, we feel the pressure to explain ourselves, to defend our decisions, to validate our choices to people who don't deserve it. But when you embrace silence, you're taking a stand. You're not just avoiding conflict, you're reclaiming your energy and showing them that your peace is non-negotiable. I'll be honest with you. Learning to use silence wasn't easy for me. At first, I thought that by staying quiet, I might seem weak or passive. But I soon realized something interesting. Every time I engaged with people who disrespected me, I ended up feeling drained and frustrated. But when I chose to remain silent, I felt stronger, more in control. I was taking back my power, one quiet moment at a time. So here's my challenge. The next time someone disrespects you, don't react. Just pause, take a deep breath, and let the silence speak for itself. You'd be amazed at how uncomfortable it makes them and how freeing it feels for you. Silence isn't just a response, it's a statement. Asterisk, asterisk. Sometimes, when people feel uncomfortable with your choices, they'll try to make you explain yourself. They'll push you to justify your decisions, trying to pull you back into their comfort zone. But here's the truth. Just because they're uncomfortable doesn't mean you owe them an explanation. Your life isn't a public service announcement, and you don't have to justify your actions to anyone. I remember when I decided to switch careers. I left a stable job for something I was truly passionate about, but it came with risks. The moment people found out, it was like I told them I was moving to another planet. Everyone kept asking, why would you leave a secure job? Or, how are you going to make it work? At first, I tried to explain. I talked about wanting something more fulfilling, about having a plan in place. But no matter how much I explained, it never felt like enough. The more I talked, the more they poked holes in my decisions, making me feel like I had to justify myself. Then one day, I decided to try something different. The next time someone asked, "Why would you leave that job?" I simply replied, "Because I wanted to." No extra details, no explanations, just a straightforward answer. And let me tell you, the silence that followed was golden. They didn't know how to respond. I had taken away their ability to question my choices, and eventually they stopped asking. Here's the real power of not explaining yourself. It's freeing. It's you standing firm in your truth, knowing that your decisions are enough simply because you made them. When you stop justifying yourself, you allow yourself to live authentically, without carrying the weight of other people's expectations. You stop wasting energy on explaining and start focusing on actually living the life you want. The lesson here is simple. Your life doesn't need anyone else's approval. Not every decision has to be analyzed or approved by others. When you stop explaining yourself, you send a powerful message. I'm confident in my choices, and I don't need your validation. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a truly confident person breaking down their decisions for others? Probably never. Confident people don't seek external validation. They know that the only approval that matters is their own. I've been there. I used to be the person who'd feel the need to justify every decision, almost like I had to convince everyone else to get on board. But over time, I realized that constantly explaining myself only made me doubt my choices. So, I made a pact with myself. If someone asks about a decision, I'll answer briefly, maybe a sentence or two. If they push for more, I smile and move on. And you know what? Life became lighter. The more I stopped explaining myself, the more confident I became in my decisions. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone questions your choices, resist the urge to explain. Just say, "Because I wanted to," or "That felt right for me." Then, let the silence speak. You'll feel stronger, more in control, and more at peace with yourself. The best part? You'll realize that your choices don't need anyone's stamp of approval. They're valid simply because you made them. Let's be real for a second. Being mean or ignoring someone isn't about being cold-hearted. It's about where you choose to spend your energy and time. Imagine your life as an exclusive club only. The people who truly deserve a VIP pass should have access. If someone is constantly violating your boundaries, making you feel small, or just bringing negativity into your life, why on earth would you keep them around? It's okay to step back. In fact, it's essential. Taking distance from people like that can give you the clarity you need to see things for what they truly are, free from emotional manipulation or guilt. Think about it. When you keep people around who constantly disrespect you, it's like letting them feast at an emotional buffet where they take whatever they want: judgment, criticism, and negativity, while you're left drained and anxious. Giving yourself space from these individuals is an act of self-preservation. It's about protecting your mental health, preserving your peace, and creating space for people who actually respect and support you. Letting go of the guilt that comes with distancing yourself can be incredibly liberating. You're not obligated to keep people around who treat you poorly. I'll share a story with you. I once had a friend who, no matter what I did, always found a way to criticize me. My career, my relationships, even my music taste. At first, I thought it was no big deal just how they were. But over time, those snide comments started to get to me. I was constantly walking on eggshells, bracing myself for the next jab or sarcastic remark that felt more like a punch than a joke. One day, I decided to try something different. I didn't call them out, I didn't make a scene. I simply started limiting my time with them. Instead of meeting every week, I saw them once a month. And you know what happened? I felt lighter. I felt freer. And in that space, I realized just how toxic that friendship had become. Distancing myself gave me the clarity to see that I deserved better friends who would lift me up instead of tearing me down. Here's the hard truth. Some people will tell you that keeping your distance is selfish. They'll say, "But they're family," or "You've been friends for years." It's uncomfortable, even a little taboo, to admit that someone you've known well isn't good for you. Society often tells us to be loyal, forgiving, and nice at any cost. But here's a little secret. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. You're not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag or their endless source of validation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step back and give yourself space. And here's where it gets deep. Holding your distance is a powerful reminder that you are your own priority. You don't owe anyone access to your time, energy, or emotions. When you put space between yourself and people who don't respect you, you're sending a clear message. My well-being comes first. The distance you create allows you to focus on the relationships that truly matter, the ones that nourish you, the ones that help you grow. The more you spend time with people who respect and value you, the more confident and fulfilled you'll feel. The less time you spend with those who tear you down, the less impact they'll have on your thoughts, mood, and life. I used to feel guilty about distancing myself from people even if they weren't treating me well. I'd worry, what if they think I don't care? This segment emphasizes the power of self-respect, boundary setting, and maintaining confidence in the face of disrespect. Here's a continuation of the narrative. People who try to undermine you don't define your worth. You decide your value, and once you embrace that, it changes everything. There's a huge difference between being nice and being a doormat. You can still be kind, compassionate, and understanding without allowing people to walk all over you. The key is knowing where to draw the line. If someone's actions or words constantly bring you down, it's your responsibility to protect your energy. When you learn to stand tall, not just physically but mentally and emotionally, you break free from the chains of other people's judgment. You become untouchable, not because you're immune to criticism, but because you no longer give it the power to affect you. And that's a game changer. It's crucial to remember that boundaries are not walls, they're protection. They're not about pushing people away, but about making sure the right people stay close. The ones who respect you, value you, and want to see you thrive. Letting go of toxic people isn't about revenge or holding a grudge. It's about creating space for the right relationships to flourish. It's about self-love and self-respect. Every time you distance yourself from someone who disrespects you, you're saying, I choose myself. I choose peace. And here's the real power of it. As you continue to set those boundaries and respect yourself, you'll notice the change in others too. You'll attract people who get it, people who respect you not because they have to, but because they genuinely value your energy. But here's the tough truth. Not everyone will understand your need for space. They might think you're being rude, selfish, or too sensitive. But that's the thing. It's not about their perception. It's about your well-being. And that's non-negotiable. The more you step into your power, the more you show others how to treat you. When you keep your head high and your standards clear, you become the example of what respect looks like. So, as you go through your life, remember, your time, your energy, and your peace are precious. Never let someone else's negativity determine your worth. Stand tall, trust your journey, and own your space. You've got this.